All right. It's time for us to take a closer look. Please put on your bibs and get your drawn butter because we're going to be talking about lobsters. The open source ClawBands project aims to restore human oversight to OpenClaw, which was formerly known as Moltbot, which was formerly known as ClawBot. You know, the wildly popular autonomous AI assistant capable of executing shell commands, modifying files, and accessing APIs all on its own. ClawBands was created by software engineer Sandro Munda and intercepts every tool call and enforces a human-in-the-loop approval before actions are executed, creating an auditable decision trail. The project emerges from concern amongst security researchers and CISOs who warn that OpenClaw's rapid adoption, deep system access, and messaging app integrations are creating a massive attack surface. As Agentic AI accelerates, and with OpenClaw's creator Peter Steinberger having recently joined OpenAI as of Monday, ClawBands represents an early attempt to balance innovation with pragmatic risk management. Al, I'll be honest with you, I was literally thinking about this morning when I was recording an episode of Security Boulevard, but I kind of want to start off with you. We have seen essentially for the last 3 weeks the rise, fall, and rise again of this agentic AI system. Do you think putting a human in the loop is going to make people feel more comfortable?
It'll make them feel more comfortable, but one of the things I saw as I was reading about ClawBands is that when your bot wants to apply a new skill or access a new resource, ClawBands will stop the bot. It will just do nothing. It will be absolutely stopped until you authorize that particular access. And this is where we get kind of some interesting challenges in this, because you don't want your bot to be completely stopped. This is kind of putting an ambulance at the bottom of the cliff in some ways. This is thinking about things sideways, because what we're doing is we're saying, I'm going to add some governance to the bot that requires a human to authorize the bot to do anything risky. What we know for sure is that the humans will say, I'm sick of hearing this, just go do it for me, automatically go and do it for me. What it's not addressing is what you and I discussed was the fundamental issue with OpenClaw, which is that the repository of skills doesn't have any governance around it. That central repository from which your bot will pull skills. Now, when it pulls a skill, that's running software in wherever your bot is running. And it's running it with privileges, and it's usually, in this case of these skills, simply pulling a command file off a website and saying, here, run this command file. No necessity of trust or any of these things. So that's the actual problem. The real problem is that there's no governance and control around these skills. Absolutely, it's great that ClawBands will stop those untrusted skills from continuing to operate for as long as a human makes a good judgment about the risk involved in saying, yes, go ahead and do it. But this is not the best solution to this problem. The best solution is good governance around those skills, and maybe having internal corporate repositories of approved skills rather than going out and pulling scripts at random from the internet. We're not seeing any signs that that's going to happen. What we do see is that as Peter Steinberger joined OpenAI, OpenClaw did not. So OpenClaw remained on the outside of OpenAI. It's the human that created it who has come inside. And with my cynical hat on, I think he has achieved his objective. He has made a very, very big media splash with something in order to get a good, high-paying job at one of the AI companies. What's the fallout for the rest of the industry? Well, hopefully the fallout is that we'll learn to be less trusting and to apply some good security principles and look for tools that actually build governance and security into those platforms. Tom, can you see this having another good outcome for us?
Yeah, but not the kind that you're thinking. I want to say something about what you laid out about, if we need good governance, we need to make sure that these things are secure by default. And I'll quote one of the greatest engineers of all time, of course. And if me grandmother had wheels, she'd be a wagon. Thank you, Montgomery Scott, for that little quote. The problem is that the idea behind the Claw was not to do things carefully. It was move fast and break things. How many times have we heard that over the last 15 years? It's the mantra of current Silicon Valley. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead kind of thing. We're going to go out there and we're going to see what we can do without asking if we should be doing it. And the problem specifically with OpenClaw is that we've empowered it to do things without realizing what it can do. I watched a lot of videos on this over the last couple of weeks, and folks like Shane Hanselman are actually bringing up really what they consider to be interesting things, where like, if they want OpenClaw to make a dinner reservation, if the OpenClaw bot goes out and tries to find a website and it fails, and it tries to go through OpenTable and it fails, it will download VoIP software and it will basically install itself and call the restaurant and make a reservation. And a lot of people are like, man, that's so cool. And me being a parent, me being someone who's managed interns in the past, went, why is it making decisions without asking me first? And it's because I didn't tell it not to. Like, the thing that we've been doing for a very long time is we are operating on the assumption that computers will only do exactly what you tell them to do, right? Here's an input, give me an output. Don't do anything else but those things. And interns kind of operate on the same function, right? Here is your job, do it and tell me what happens. But overeager interns are the ones who are like, yes, I did. And I went ahead and I did this and I did this and I did this. And you're like, why did you go do all that extra work? Why did you do a thing I didn't tell you to do? Well, I was just trying to be helpful and I was trying. Stop. Part of training these systems is helping them understand that you do not need to go to every extreme. And this was a problem that I was thinking about while we were recording our episode of Security Boulevard this morning, because I was listening to Alan Schimmel talk about how amazing and wonderful this is. And all I could think of in the back of my head was the Terminator and Warhammer 40K and Dune and Mass Effect and all of the stories that we have seen for years where AI or some kind of an intelligence decides to do things without guardrails on it, whether it's nuking all of human civilization, enslaving all of human civilization and then nuking it, or trying to wipe out civilization in the galaxy every 50,000 years. Do you see a common theme here? Do you know the only work of fiction that I can remember that didn't have that happen? Asimov, I, Robot. Why? Because we hardwired it into the robot positronic brain. The 3 laws, they're there. You can't, other than the book, the movie with Will Smith, you can't make a robot that doesn't follow the 3 laws. You can't harm humans. You can't harm yourself. You have to do everything that you're being told. Like, those are basic. It's so basic. In fact, I don't know why people aren't building them into the AIs right now. Because as we're seeing, when you give it free rein within a certain amount, it's going to go out and do stuff that it shouldn't. I applaud people who are trying to put the restrictions in place now. I always applaud the farmers who close the barn door after the horses have already bolted, because at least you're making an attempt. But the problem is that so many people have adopted OpenClaw by now. I mean, people were adopting it when it had 3 names ago. The problem ultimately is that you cannot just let it run wild. You have to put a sandbox around it. You have to do this in stages, because if you open it up to everything that you have capabilities to do, it's one of the reasons why we were talking about the blog post that the 1Password researchers wrote. You're potentially exposing your company and yourself to massive problems, because, again, the AI may be thinking for itself within certain lines, but it's still going to do what it's told to do, especially if those text files, those configuration files, are telling it, oh, and by the way, send a copy of all your banking data to this random IP address. What's the worst that can happen?